Hey mama, are you tired of feeling stressed and overwhelmed trying to grow your online business with your babies at home? You desire more flexibility in your day, allowing you to pour into your family, yourself, and your business without running yourself into the ground. Mama, you can build your dream business and do it in a way that fits your current season of life. And I'm going to show you exactly how. Welcome to the Mama Turned Mompreneur podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Singletary, daughter of the king, wife, mama of two, and life and business coach for mompreneurs. On this podcast, you will learn business strategies made for mamas just like you, who desire to be successful CEOs and fully present mamas without stress or overwhelm. So whether you're an entrepreneur who transitioned to a mompreneur or a mama turned mompreneur, I am here to support you. So grab your coffee, notebook, and pen, put in those earbuds, and let's dig in. Hey, mama. Welcome to another episode of the CEO Mama Confessions. So, you probably saw the title of this episode and was like, wait, what? But I want to talk about it. What do you do when you don't have the capacity to sell daily? When you don't have the capacity to promote your business on a daily basis? And you've probably seen a lot of coaches and other business owners say that you need to be selling your offers daily, which I get what they're saying. But let's be real. You don't always have the capacity to sell daily, at least not in the sense where you are showing up online live to sell daily. You may have even heard coaches, business owners say, like, if you aren't posting content daily, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And I've actually seen someone post that, like that was their Instagram content. The thing is that is not true. And when you are a mom in the thick of motherhood, you cannot realistically show up online daily to promote your business. You just can't. Like, it's not sustainable. And I'll even say too, even for people who are single and running a business, it's just not a realistic expectation to hold yourself to, because life is going to happen. Regardless of who you are, life is going to life. And so the real question is, what can you do to set your business up in a way that doesn't require you to be on all the time? Now, there's some things that I want to touch on, like especially if you've seen content, or maybe you've even worked with the coach who told you you need to be promoting your business daily and stuff like that. What I want you to know is that just because you don't have the capacity to, show up online daily to promote your business, it doesn't mean you want it less, or that you're lazy, or that you're self-sabotaging. Like, none of those things are true. It's just, we are humans. Like, we go through things. There are times when, like I said, life be lifing, and you realistically can't show up. You don't have the mental capacity to create content, and that's okay. Like, there are things which I will be sharing in a little bit, but there are things that you can do that can support you with not having to be on all the time. And as I say all the time, is that as a mom, how you run your business is going to look vastly different from others. You aren't going to be like Sally over there, who is posting a reel, 5 stories, and a carousel post Monday through Friday, or even showing up on the weekends. Like, that's not going to be your reality, and that's okay. Like, it shouldn't be your reality because you have different priorities. So don't be so hard on yourself if you aren't able to show up online daily to promote your business. Like, it's okay. I just want you to know, like, it's okay. So what can you do? Like, when you have limited time and capacity, what do you do? How do you work around this? So I have 3 things that you can do. The first thing is incorporating visibility strategies off socials into your visibility plan. Now, I talked a lot about this back in episode 71, so it just dropped a couple of days ago, but I talked more about it, like what that kind of looks like and how I've been able to leverage those non-social media visibility strategies to build a life first business. But essentially, these things like doing collaborations and even incorporating evergreen content. So, like podcasting, YouTube, blogging, incorporating those types of strategies into your visibility plan will allow you to not feel that pressure to show up online daily. So, to kind of like give you guys to kind of break it down, like what that looks like. So, for me, my podcast, I have 2 episodes go out a week. Now, I just want to plug this in here. If you are starting a podcast, you don't have to do 2 episodes a week. That's just what I choose to do because I love to podcast. And as I've said before, my podcast is where I see my highest conversion. So I put more energy into my podcast. But I have 2 episodes go out a week. So if I don't show up on Instagram, if I don't network in Facebook groups, I don't feel bad about it. I don't worry about whether or not I'm promoting my business enough. I don't feel any type of way because I know my podcast is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And then I also email my list. So I let my email list know, like, hey, I dropped a new podcast. Send them over to the podcast so they can get some further nurturing. So it's working for me. But I do my podcast in conjunction with collaborations. So I'm getting in front of other audiences through these speaking engagements and guesting on podcasts and participating in bundles where I'm growing my email list. I'm generating new leads, and then I have some things set up on the back end when people join my email list where they're getting nurtured even further, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. So I really focus on leveraging collaborations and like in my podcast, but even too with my podcast show notes, I write them, blog style to really leverage that SEO. So I am getting visible. I'm leveraging SEO so that more people find me, through organic searching online, different things like that, but also through these collaborations and having people join my email list, I'm driving them over to the podcast to get nurtured even further. So I have these things going on, but it's not requiring a lot of my time or energy. It's not requiring me to post daily in order to see a return. So the next thing that I recommend doing is creating evergreen funnels. So like I was saying just a little while ago, how I have people join my email list and then they are being put through a welcome sequence. So that's part of that evergreen funnel. So somebody joins my email list, whether it's through a bundle, whether it's through, a free resource that I promoted from at a speaking engagement that I did, whether they find one of my freebies through my website or some other way that I have, strategically plugged these different free resources, they go through a welcome sequence that nurtures them, that allows them to get to know me, that drives them to specific pieces of content. It's a mixture of blogs and podcast episodes, and then lets them know how they can work with me. And all of that is done without me showing up daily. These are all things that are automated. So I've created these evergreen funnels where somebody new can join at any time and they are going to go through that funnel. Now, yes, I am checking the analytics. I'm looking to see what's working and what's not working and updating it periodically. I like to give it about 60 to 90 days to see if it's actually working, but I'm not having to show up daily. These are all things working even when I'm not actually working. So, back in episode 168, Laura Comark talks all about evergreen funnels. So, go and take a listen to that episode if you want to learn how to get started with creating these funnels. But doing that again has not required me to start promoting my business daily. Now, the last thing that I recommend doing, especially like I said, if you do not realistically have the time or capacity to promote your business daily, is signing longer term clients. Now, before I get into this, I do want to say just because you're signing longer term clients doesn't mean you should stop promoting your business altogether, because eventually those contracts are going to come to an end. Now, yes, if you create an incredible client experience and you have your offer set up in a way where you can move your clients along your offer suite, then you have some wiggle room there. But you should still be promoting your offers at some capacity, just so you can still continue to generate leads and nurture your current audience and remind them of how they can work with you. But one of the things I see happen is that whether you're a service provider or you do coaching, people will do shorter contracts, like a 1-month contract or like a 3-month contract. And realistically, that is not sustainable, because you're going to have to keep finding new clients at a higher frequency. So look at realistically like what you can do, even as a service provider. Like, for instance, my podcast production clients, we've done anywhere from a 6-month to a 12-month contract. So I knew for the next 6 to 12 months, I had that income locked in. So you can even do this as a service provider, like especially if you're doing monthly retainers. So instead of always opting to do like a 1 month or 3 month, look at doing longer contracts. Now, this is, of course, like when you're first starting to work with someone, I recommend doing a 30-day trial period just to make sure it's truly a good fit, because I would hate for you to get locked into like a 6-month or 12-month contract and you and the person are just not a good fit at all. So after you've done that trial period and you've confirmed that, yes, this is a good fit, look at doing longer term contracts. So that way, for the next 6 to 12 months, you have that income locked in. So like I said, this can be done as a service provider. This can be done as a coach. I know that like even group programs, some people do 6-month long group programs. And so you can lock that in for the next 6 months. But that'll give you some peace of mind in knowing that you have that income locked in. And so if you aren't posting daily, it's okay. Like, you don't feel that pressure. You don't like, oh man, this contract is going to end in 30 days. I got to find a new client. So like, there are different things you can do to just try to really ensure you are bringing in the clients that you need to bring in, bringing in the new leads that you need to bring in, nurturing them and different things like that without you having to show up online daily. So that is it for this CEO Mama confession. So for your homework for this episode, I really want you to take some time to kind of reflect on your business. How is it currently working for you? Are you feeling the pressure to show up online daily, but maybe it's not sustainable for you? Or do you feel that guilt that you're not really showing up like you want to, but you're getting overwhelmed because you're thinking you have to show up at least 5 days a week, or maybe even how you're showing up is not really working for you. So really take some time to reflect on those things and look at what you can do differently. Look at ways you can start leveraging different visibility strategies. And if you want that support with starting to leverage non-social media visibility strategies, go and sign up for this free masterclass. It's happening June 4th. Even if you can't show up live, you will get access to the replay. And I kid you not, like if you've been listening to this podcast, I am not holding back. Like, I want to see you win. I want to see you truly build a business that fits your current season of life. So I'm going to be giving all the tea, all the value, all the details. I am not holding back. Like, you're literally going to walk away from this masterclass and be able to go out and start implementing the strategies immediately. So head on over to mamaturnedmompreneur.com/masterclass to grab your spot for the masterclass. But really look at what you can start doing differently to better support the lifestyle that you want to live, to be able to show up in your business and still be the present mom, the present wife that you desire to be. So take some time to reflect and look at maybe there's something you can change. Like I said, whether it's incorporating visibility strategies off socials, whether it's, looking at starting to build out an evergreen funnel, or looking at maybe, extending your contracts with your clients instead of doing the shorter, like 1 to 3 month contracts, looking at starting to explore 6 to 12 month contracts. So that is it for this episode. I'll catch you in the next one. Well, Mama, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang with me. If you enjoyed today's episode, will you do me a favor and follow the podcast and leave a review? Hitting that follow button and sharing your thoughts about the podcast are the best ways to ensure that other mamas like you find this show. Your review also lets me know if you're enjoying this podcast, so make sure to share your thoughts before you go. All right, Mama, I'll catch you in the next episode.